Have you ever had a fresh cannoli from a bakery in Italy or out in New York? Oh, if so, they are the best. And that's why I'm so excited to show you today how to make cannolis coming up right now on Cooking with Chef Bryan. Welcome everybody to Cooking with Chef Bryan. I am Chef Bryan and I'm so excited to show you how to make some delicious cannolis. Honestly, I don't think there's anything tastier than a fresh cannoli. If you've ever been over to Italy and you buy it out of a bakery fresh, or in New York in Little Italy there, and you buy one at a bakery, oh, they are just so delicious. And they're actually pretty easy to make with a few basic tips. Now, the one thing that you may not be familiar with are cannoli pipes, or I'm sure there's a technical name, I call them cannoli pipes. But this is actually what we're gonna wrap the dough around to put it into the deep fryer, which will hold the shape and give us that tube that we can stuff with the ricotta cheese stuffing. So these are something you can pick up at generally any type of a kitchen store, or you can order them offline as well to make the cannolis. I've seen some people do little things like pipes. They just wrap them around pipes as long as they're food safe and aren't galvanized or have any type of coatings on them. So just be careful, make sure they're stainless steel, and you can find them, like I said, pretty much anywhere kitchen gadgets are sold. So we're gonna start off with the delicious dough. And I think this dough is so good because it has Marsala wine in it. And if you're not familiar with Marsala wine, honestly, it's pretty delicious because it's like dark raisins and prunes and everything. And so it really has a rich, delicious flavor. I've often talked about food processors, how important they are in the kitchen. I do so much in my food processor. One is make doughs like this. But the difference today, I'm actually going to be using the regular, not the dough hook, but just the regular slicer blade. And so that's going to go into there. And the reason for this is it's not a lot of dough, and so I need this one as it fits lower to the bowl. To this, I'm going to add some flour, and the flour has some salt and sugar in it as well. And then I'm just going to put the lid onto it, give it a pulse a few times so that what that does is distribute the salt and the sugar evenly in the flour. And so that's another thing I like about food processors. They're really fast. Now, once again, this is an induction motor. It's not a belt driven. Like I said, I'm not a fan of the belt drivens. I do like the induction motor, which is more responsive. To me, it's faster. It has more oomph in it, and it just does a better job. But use what you have. That's the important thing about it. Now, to this, we're going to add some melted butter. And the butter is such a good flavor. You want a non-salted butter. The reason for that is you want to control the salt that's in the dough itself. And we've added salt to it already. So if the butter has salt in it, it's going to add that much more salt to it. So that's why you always see recipes that say don't buy salted butter, but use what you have. All right, so this is the Marsala wine. I'm going to add that into there. To me, it just looks like raisin water, but oh, it just has such a deep, delicious aroma. Also to that, we're going to add an egg white. Now I'm really getting a whiff of the Marsala wine. Now there are two different kinds at the store when you go get some Marsala wine. There's a dry Marsala and a sweet Marsala, and you want to get the sweet Marsala when you go there. All right, so let's just put that in there, and now all we're going to do is basically just pulse this together until it pulls into a dough. I mean, how easy is that? This is why I love food processors, because they just make life in the kitchen so easy, from slicing to dicing to shredding to chopping, all those kinds of things. So there is the dough, and it has a beautiful aroma of the Marsala wine and just the butter in it. I'm going to smooth it out just a little bit. And the thing about this now is what you're going to want to do is just take your bowl. This is one that I just had the flour in, but I'm going to take it, I'm going to give it a little spray with some vegetable oil, put this into here, give a little spray to the top so it doesn't dry out, and then this is going to go into the refrigerator for at least 30 minutes. It needs to firm up. That butter needs to firm up again, and so that's very important. Otherwise, it doesn't hold together as well in our fryer, so that's important. Now, I have some that's already made here in the fridge, so come on over here to the fridge with me really quick. We'll grab this out, and it is ready to go. You know, just cover it when it goes into the fridge there. And you can see now it's much firmer than the other dough. It's cold, it's ready to go. And we are gonna have some amazing cannoli. Now the one thing, I'll just set this one aside. We'll put it in the fridge a little bit later here. Now the one thing about this dough, we already have enough flour in it. So I don't wanna add flour onto my work surface. So what I do as a trick is use just vegetable oil. So I'm gonna take some vegetable oil. I'm gonna spray it onto my work surface so that the dough doesn't stick to it. And then I'm just gonna take half of the dough and work with it that way. So just some small portions of the dough and just kind of flatten that out, smooth it out a little bit here, and then we're going to start to roll this out and cut it into our cannolis. Ooh, I can't wait for these. These are so delicious. Okay, so there's that. Here's my rolling pin over here. I'm going to give it a little spray with some oil on top so it doesn't stick to the rolling pin. And we're going to roll this out to about 1/4 of an inch. Meanwhile, what I've done is I've found my 4-inch round cutter, cookie cutter basically, my sugar cookie cutter. This is what we're going to use. So don't go away. When we come back, we're going to be cutting and rolling these delicious cannolis.
As summer comes into full swing, it's time to fire up the grill and treat your family to a special outdoor meal featuring everyone's favorite Klondike brand potatoes. Enjoy preparing one of our many chef-inspired recipes from the web, or create your own backyard culinary masterpiece using varieties from the full line of Klondike potatoes. Visit KlondikeBrands.com today for hundreds of recipe ideas and make your summers sizzle with Klondike Brands.
Welcome back, everybody, to Cooking with Chef Bryan. I'm just working with this cannoli dough, rolling it out to about 1/4 inch thick, more or less. I mean, you want it thin, but you don't want it so thin that it tears. So just be careful with that. We'll roll that out like this. And every once in a while, I'll stick my hand under and kind of lift it so it's not sticking to the countertop. At that point, what you want to do, and the reason that you want to lift that up is because a lot of times dough gets in this little fight with you. And so if you don't lift it up to relax it, when you cut it with your round, it's going to go shrink right up. So you want to lift it up so that it relaxes so you get an actual cut of about 4 inches. So we're going to take our cutter, give that a nice little cut. There we go. Do 4 of those. Lift that off. I'll put this over with the other dough. And of course you would proceed and roll that out with all of the dough until it's completely gone. But now you're going to take the rollers and we're going to roll these into just basically little sleeves, so to speak. And so we're going to take them, just put it on there. Oh, one thing I do like to do, give it just a slight spray, because sometimes the dough can stick to those and you don't want that to happen. We're going to take it and we're just going to roll it up until we get that seam that comes right over, and there we go. Now here on the back, when you get that seam there, if it's not quite meeting, just pick that dough up, pull it right over on that seam and make sure that it's there, and just kind of roll that so it seals up that seam. Because sometimes they'll come undone in the fryer, which is fine. They're still really good to eat, but sometimes they do come undone. So now that I have the oil, it's heated up to about 350 degrees. We're going to place this right into there and let it just begin to fry. And so you're going to fry them until they're golden brown. Now, depending on your fryer, this time may vary. And so just kind of watch them as they start to turn brown. You'll be good. So I'll take my spray here, just a little bit of spray to get that on there, just to make sure. Because I have had some problems where the dough doesn't release off of the roller, and it can become a little bit troublesome. How's that? So let's get this onto there. We'll roll this one up on. There we go. Ooh, the dough smells yummy. Smells yummy. Make sure you just kind of roll that over that seam so that it seals that up nicely. And this one actually is almost finished. By the time we get this one rolled here, it'll be done. And we'll grab, I have plenty of oil on my hand still. We'll just kind of roll that around. I'm going to roll that out a little bit larger. Let's take that. There we go. See the seam, you want to make sure that that's nice and sealed on there. Okay, let's take that, put it into there. I always get a kick out of, what is it, about Valentine's Day. These little cannoli kits come out and you can buy the fried cannoli, the filling, and just pipe it into them. It's very convenient, but as you can see, they're really very easy to make on your own. Let me grab some tongs here. We're going to grab a plate because I'll put those cannolis, once they come out of the fryer, onto the plate, put some paper towels on here so that it, helps sop up any of that extra grease. And I'm just going to watch this, and it looks like the other ones are coming along nicely. And meanwhile, we'll get this one out because it's going to be good and hot. So you want to be careful not to do that, not to grab it. I have... It's kind of embarrassing to say, but I have grabbed these before once they came out of the fryers like this, and it just burns your hands to death. So you have to be so careful. Remember that they're going to be piping hot. So I just get a dish towel here. I'm going to get it. I'm going to just kind of cool them off in the dish towel, wipe them off so that all that hot oil comes off of them. Remember that hot oil is going to be in the center of it. It's not a big deal. And now they're still really hot, so we'll let that cool. Now this is what I wanted to show you. Remember I kept saying you've got to get that seam nice and sealed. If you don't get the seam nice and sealed, which I will get done here in just a minute, all of a sudden they pop open like that. And they make for delicious pastries. You can put a spoonful of ricotta cheese on there and they'll be delicious. Now the one thing that I wanted to for sure show on this one here is the fact that it does happen. And if it happens, it's not a big deal. So that's what I was talking about, of getting those seams nice and sealed at the end there. And you can do that by holding it into the fry oil too and holding it down against the basket so that seam holds together till it begins to fry. So it'll be fun. So I'll get some more rolled up here. We'll get these fried up when we come back. I'll show you how to put together the ricotta cheese filling. It's so simple and easy. I love cannolis, and you can put them in all kinds of different flavors. So don't go away. We'll keep working on some cannolis when we come back.
It's no secret, frozen rolls are fresher than bakery rolls. You see, bakery rolls are made in commercial bakeries. Then they sit all day in stores. Some even contain preservatives because rolls begin to stale immediately. By the time you eat your roll, it could already be days old. Rhodes Bake and Serve is found in your grocer's freezer. Simply take Rhodes frozen roll dough home and let it thaw and rise in a pan. Bake Rhodes rolls in your own oven. Rhodes Bake and Serve, hot and fresh, right out of your oven.
Welcome back, everybody. We're working on cannolis today, and they are so fun and delicious. I love cannolis. Like I said earlier, some of my fondest memories of Italy, or even Little Italy in New York, is buying cannolis fresh out of a bakery. Oh, they come in so many different sizes, shapes, textures, and dips, and I mean, they're just pretty amazing. We're going to do a basic filling here, starting with the ricotta cheese. I have sugar and vanilla. So this is a basic filling. Now, if you wanted to, you could put like mini chocolate chips in these. You could put nuts in these. I've had pistachio filled ones, so it has the ricotta cheese with crumbled up pistachios in there. So here now I have the ricotta cheese, the vanilla, and the sugar all mixed together, so it's a nice sweetened filling here with vanilla overtones. And what you're going to do now is get a piping bag. Now, a lot of times I'll say, you can use like a big resealable plastic bag. You can, but it honestly is better if you get a piping bag. And you can buy these at kitchen stores too, basically in rolls, and you just pull them off like a paper towel, and they're very convenient in the kitchen. You can get them online too, and so a lot of places, and they do work so much better than just a plastic bag. So what I'm doing now is I'm pulling it over my hand. My hand is in a cup shape. This is where I'm going to fill it right there. The rest of it is pulled over it, and it's nice and steady. A lot of people will put these over like a vase or a tall glass and do it that way. This honestly to me is the best way to do it. So take your spoonful, and when you put the filling in, you're going to just kind of rub that onto your finger like that so that your finger helps to scrape off that filling or whatever you're filling your piping bag with. Now, the important thing with piping bags, never overfill them. A lot of folks will go, oh, it's a huge piping bag. I need to put more into it so that I can hold it. But if you're not used to working with a piping bag, you may not be used to working with that large of material in there. So that's just important. Now, once it's done, you want to keep all of these edges clean so that they aren't in your way. Pull that back over. Notice I haven't cut the tip of it yet. And then you're gonna just kind of hold all that together. You're gonna kind of pull and squeeze down there, letting out the air, so burping it as they call it, and you're gonna give it a twist. And then you hold the twist in between your thumb and your forefinger, and the rest of it should rest comfortably in the palm of your hand. So that's how you hold the bag. And so we're gonna cut that tip off because I wanna stuff our shells there. Unfortunately, this is a right-handed scissors, so I've gotta switch hands to use them. So once you get that tip cut off, like that, be careful with this tip that you just cut off. Don't let it get into your fillings. I have seen that before. People lose it. It falls wherever it is that they're working, and then it gets in the filling. So just be really careful with that. Now we have the tip all cut off of there, and here are one of the rounds here. So we're going to take it. We're going to just kind of insert that into there, and we're going to kind of go a round circle so it fills up the tube in there, and we'll come to the other side, little round circle to fill up that tube. And voila, there is one cannoli. Oh, I can't wait for you guys to try these at home because they are just so delicious. And they're fun, they're easy to make, and you can flavor them, like I said, in so many different flavors. You can make this chocolate if you want to. You can coat, ooh, I just about got that on me. You can coat the ends of these in chocolate, dip them in nuts for that matter. So very, very easy to do. So I'm gonna keep filling these on. When we come back here in just a little bit, we're gonna finish them all up. But oh, these are delicious. You're gonna love them. You can make them for your sweetheart or whomever you want because they are well worth it. Don't go away, we'll finish it all up when we come back. Are you looking for some delicious side dishes for dinner? Well, why not try Green Giant Fresh Minute Mashes? They're simple, they come in 3 different flavors for your dinner, and all you have to do is put them in the microwave, 7 minutes, pop them out, smash them in the bag, and serve them. It doesn't get any simpler than that. Welcome back, everybody. We're finishing up these delicious little cannolis. I'm gonna fill up this last one here. Who wouldn't love these? What sweetheart wouldn't love these, right? Fill that up and boom, just like that. Delicious. We've been eating here in the kitchen the actual batter for these after they're cooked, and just the cookie shell itself is delicious. I'm going to be very simple on these. I'll dust them with some powdered sugar, but I wanted to show you can make them in various sizes, from smaller to larger, depending on what event or what you want to make them for. You can really enjoy them. Finish these ones off with a little dusting of some powdered sugar, and we have a delicious Italian treat, cannolis with a sweetened ricotta cheese filling. Now you can go on over to cookingwithchefbryan.com and grab this recipe, as well as literally thousands of recipes on the website. You can go there, and so it's a wonderful resource. I hope you're all using them for that, and so it's just a fun way to enjoy some delicious food here. Head on over, grab this recipe, get it made up. I can't wait to see pictures online of them. Be sure to hashtag Chef Bryan, and of course you can find me on social media, Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram, which is the one I look at the very most, so you can find me there. And as always, thanks for saying hi when you see me out and about. It's always a pleasure to meet you and to hear of your delicious and wonderful food stories. Thanks for joining me today, everybody. I'll see you all next time. You can find all of these complete recipes on my website, cookingwithchefbryan.com.